Blessings, y'all, to Sew to Bestow, part 35, episode 35. And in this episode, I'm going to be removing the collar to replace these buttons into the new algorithm. I'm switching it up first. I'm going to cut the collar off, and then I'll remove the buttons. And you're probably not going to be able to see me cut it because the way this is angled isn't the best, so apologies for that. I realize I have to put my camera a little far back so that I'm not too close. I don't like how close I've been in my latest videos, so that's because I've been trying out this camera. So hopefully I'm not all in your grill, and if I am, so be it, right? I do have my fan on. I'm not sure how it sounds. I'm going to leave it on because I'm very hot and I'm not playing those games. So. Yellow is one of my favorite colors. I've always loved yellow. Even as a child, I was drawn to it because of its radiance. It's so bright. And yellow is the best description of hello. So, this is a shirt. It's just a shirt, but it's a yellow shirt, so that makes it quite a favorite just by virtue of it being yellow, for me anyways. So I'm removing the collar because once I remove these buttons, this fabric is definitely going to leave a mark. In fact, there's already an opening at the back end of it. It's very soft, very delicate fabric. I'm not sure what kind of material. I believe this is cotton. If it is cotton, actually it is cotton. It's just very light cotton. So this is a little bit more durable, but it is what it is. And as I said the last time, I like to kind of have a jagged cut, but sometimes I stress the clean cut just as much. It can't be too jaggedy or janky. I don't like this. That's too much. It's too janky. You can specify that a little bit more. In fact, I have sharper scissors I can use. This finally cuts even. But as I said, this shirt is fabric is very thin. So, kind of stuck with the shirt filled with mini pieces. The edges in there. It's like cutting the hair using scissors, but I'm cutting the cuff of my shirt instead of hair. With the thread falling down, it's like hair falling down. Okay, this looks good enough. It'll do. It'll suffice. Now, I'm going to take the buttons off and sew them again. I decided to keep these collars, and I'll decide what I'll do with them later. I haven't yet decided, but the last one I took off, the purple one, I just was like, oh, I'm not going to throw it away, I'll keep it for something. So I have to cut off so many more collars because most of the shirts have this algorithm, the 241, and now that that is being removed into another place, all of my shirts with the collar, they're going off. The collars are coming off, so I'll have a bunch of collars. You hear my blinds because I have my blinds open, my windows open. I'm still sweating. even with the AC on. But that's fine. Because it's hot. And I love the heat. I know it may not seem like it because I'm sweating, and well, hopefully it does seem it. Some people complain all the time when it's hot. Saying that it's hot isn't complaining about the heat. But when it's hot and all you can say is, oh, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. It's like, yeah, drink some water. Get some electrolytes in your system. The worst thing to be is dehydrated, because you can actually have a heat stroke. Your body can literally give out on itself if it's too hot. So you have to stay hydrated. Water, preferably. Ice cream. It's not necessarily hydrating, but you know, ice cream on a sunny day. Who's complaining? Not me. So I'm going to remove this thread here, because we keep all of our thread, all of the life. We recycle our thread. We are believers of regeneration. These blood lines and lies, the blood lies within forever encoded anticipation. Don't get me to start rhyming, because that didn't even make sense, but my point is, I keep all of the remains from the buttons that I remove. The thread, I keep all of them, because it's useful, and I'll get to that later. But sometimes when I sew the button on, I sew it a bit complicated. This is good. Alright, so keep that. Now I'll take the first button. It's just a yellow 2-hole button. This is a very light yellow I'll use. I'm actually going to wear this shirt today. This video is taking a little longer than I needed it to take, because when you're cutting a collar, you have to be very extra careful. Let me get closer here. You can see what I'm doing here. So you want to be really careful when you cut the collar, because otherwise you can cut too low, and if you cut too low, it just doesn't look good. So back to what I was saying earlier, I've been talking about this a lot, because now I realize it's a bit of a contradiction I have, because while I do like the jagged look, it still needs to be uniform. So cutting the collar and sewing 3 buttons on in one video will mean the video is a little longer. And this video is not necessarily ASMR, because it's louder voices. My voice is louder. The AC is on. I'm sure you hear that. That's picking up. But it's okay. It's okay. Now, sometimes, see, there's basically 3 life forms of a shirt for me. Maybe 4 or 5 even, depending on what I'm trying to do. But let's say I have a long sleeve shirt. If I have a long sleeve shirt, the odds of me cutting the sleeves off, using those sleeves for another shirt, are pretty high. Like, I would say about 70%, especially when it's hot. And if it's a shirt that I don't necessarily care about or care for as much. If it's a short sleeve shirt like this, like, I can wear this short sleeve shirt as a regular t-shirt But then there are times I want to just remove the sleeves even for the short sleeves, where I have a shirt on like I have like now. This was a long sleeve shirt, as I mentioned before in another episode. But the sleeves were ruined, so I cut the sleeves off, and now it's, you know, you can't really cut further. I can make it a crop top if I wanted to, but I'm likely not going to do that to this shirt anyway. But yeah, shirts, clothes can live on depending on how you choose to remodify them and remold them. It's interesting. Okay, I have one more button to sew, and then that will be the end of this episode. I'm gonna sew that with white thread, actually. That's the button I'm using. I like this button. It looks like a piece of candy. Alright, coming in at the back. Snip. There we have it, folks. Hot face. It just turned 4 o'clock, which puts me in time to do some other things I need to do. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at next episode. Buttons. Blessings.